smashing towards the championship. We're about to find out. It's our second game of the day. Let's get into it. It's Miramar.
It is indeed the last chance to dance on this map, so these teams need to make it count. If you feel more comfortable here, if you're DA, you're probably sweating bullets. You've got hot drops waiting for you in map 2, so you kind of want to do well here. And after that game where hesitation cost you potentially the best compound in it, as Martin said, and as we kind of highlighted it happened, they were scouting that compound, but they just never took it at the right time. ETG was still there, and they didn't fancy the crash. So we go back in now, Northern Lights just kind of taking the lead a little further, confirming that, yeah, we're going to keep doing this, guys. We're not relenting. This will continue now. And I also like the point they brought up, Rich, that Liquid technically can take some bigger risks. And it's purely because they're not in that second and third race just yet. So technically, they could push a little harder here if they wanted to.
Actual hot drops and pre-defined hot drops have been done before, where you're going for an opponent that you want to potentially jump and beat. Whether they work out is a different question altogether. You can see Ibiza is actually just disconnected a little bit from the rest of the roster. Whether or not that's his usual thing, and he likes to go off and get a vehicle and usually comes back to it. But I was wondering if maybe he just goes a little bit further afield, keeps a track of what's going on, and sees how things are going to be landing. Gustav and Mert, just let's be aware that the vehicles are rather close to one another and we might get a bit of an early scuffle. That's kind of what becomes the reality now, is that for the teams that are lower down the board, they're just playing for money. Points mean prizes. If they can go take out a team that's above them, if they can go pick up some free fragging points, they absolutely will do that. That's free money in their pocket. For other ones, a bit more of a passive play style comes into effect. Now for DA, the question is, has that cost them? At certain points where we would anticipate a DA push or a DA pull-up, so to speak, and just a full send, that's Chris playing a guitar, looking rather happy. What do you think he's playing?
Vivaldi. Very classical music, man. That PC looks sick in the background. What?
He's just having a good time, isn't he?
There he is, old Chris. I've got to say, if anything, casting the last, couple of weekends of this just reminds me why I like PUBG. You know what I mean? The community's excellent, the players, there's so many personalities that truly are worth celebrating. So it's been an absolute blooming honor to do it. So it's been a good laugh. So Mert, let's see how he does. He was having a rough game last time. He got knocked so many times, and I don't even want to say it's his fault. Sometimes it's just how the game goes. But if anyone's getting picked, Mert's knocked again. It's like, oh gosh, it makes you feel for him a little bit. But with the Northeast Circle, this does bode a little bit trickier for some of the teams. I know Liquid used to struggle a little bit with these rotations, but there's no one directly in front of them, so I'm curious to see how their route of rotation will be. It is a Northeast Circle, of course, here, Rich. Where do we look towards these? I mean, we've got a water treatment area in here, kind of I guess some of the east is still a bit playable, where Ents currently are. There's a couple of common circles.
Yeah, I mean, it's like yesterday when we spoke about with a circle like this, I like to kind of talk about more where it won't go. I think that's the better from an IGL stance. If you put yourself in there, it's okay, well, we know where it's absolutely not going to be. And somewhere around Torre Moada, yes, we do get circles in and around there, but it's few and far between, a very low percentile that will actually get something up that way. So you kind of cut a line from the top, maybe outskirts of Oasis, and go all the way and skirt round El Azhar. So cut that top northeast side of the map off completely. At least, there is a chance, but it's a low one, and pull further forward. If you're going to be other teams looking at that, remember you got the 3 peaks that are just above Minas Generales that will always be in play, and bump it around somewhere. Be me. Hearing vehicles in abundance. Got a little gap in the wall here. What do you see? Where's the information? You noted there is multiple enemies that are going to be at your doorstep. Where's the rest of the team, though? That's the question. Are they in a position where they can back you up should this go absolutely sideways? Ibis in the distance is also heading here, so clearly QB and Co want to solidify this for themselves.
Beamy, careful now. Yeah, tuck back in. Wait for support to arrive. Oh my god, the nade. It's good. Marv's got it. That's going to be the go signal. Get in there. Pile the hell in. WS has just turned up as well. We've got 3 teams now fighting for this area. And Flammy's now isolated, having to deal with the vast majority. Yellow's dead every day of the week. The Wanderer's going to find that. The AK just bouncing the recoil so perfectly. Short tries to trade, but all he's showing is a headshot, so you got to be careful. Molly's now coming out, and WS is staying as 4 here. They still have all players up. Check the corner. Up and over we go. Goodbye, bystanders. Hello, WS. Welcome to the party, pal. We've got Redline as well now, finding bigger angles of the Wanderer. Oh, the nade dropped out of his hand. He's going to be blown up. Not by his own nade, by one of the boys flushing him quickly.
This is a massive action at the start, and it does ring a lot of alarm bells for teams that are looking around into this one. Tornado Energy are just off to the west, TSM are down to the south, and Shift W are live and kicking over by the east. They are all looking at this for a potential position, more importantly to the northern side or even the central side of the circle, should it be favorable and come down towards the south. More importantly, that is 3 points in the bag if they can knock any of these players. They're going to be weakened, they're going to be in a battle. The third-party potential is absolutely there. Chris and Zoka hold forward. Rexco and Kilyakai could move up. The crate's going to be theirs for now. We'll see how that kind of fares. DA on the transition, so goes Team Liquid. Northern Lights in this mix also. Backside of TSM with a 2-2 split. ETG already set up, ready, willing, and able to take a fight should Liquid turn into this one. The damage is done. The commitment may come through. We'll see if Mexi actually goes behind on this one and pulls up behind, because if they do, they definitely will commit. Mexi decides to turn and face as Chris is also on the hill. This is just the Death Valley. Has to turn and run away from this one, Team Liquid. They're going to have to back off. With 2 players sub 50% on transition, you don't want to be losing somebody early. They opt for go. The lower compound, DA is already up there. Those shots are from a different team altogether. Both of these teams at the moment struggling to find a solidified place to stay.
DA look lost, Rich. They look lost for a first rotation point. I guess it's secondary options here. They were on a very similar path to Liquid, and they've ended up right at the doorstep of Liquid. I'm worried that DA are floundering a little in these final moments.
It's money, right? And this is what I mean, like the usual DA play that they became so famous for, and what works so well of just charging in head first like a bull in a shop, and all of a sudden the confidence is no longer with them. I think that's the best way to look at them. They're just like, what do we do? Where do we go? I don't really know. Like, find a place on the map and then decide from there. Don't just flounder around in the middle of nowhere. I kind of feel sorry for him, because this is definitely not the DA that we've been seeing up until this weekend. There's been confidence, there's been skill, there's been a lot of clear communication and teamwork. I mean, hell, they've drafted in, I believe, a new coach for the team. I was seeing it on social media the other day. They're there together on LAN. The communication and the play should be very clear and decisive. There should be something that you need to do. If there isn't, and there's a backup plan and it falls, all goes to sideways, then fair play. They have opted to go for a 2-2 split on the lower side of the map. TSM also 2-2, Northern Lights 2-2. So they're taking very, I say 2-2, it's close, but it's still sparsely separated. Sauna Boys and Navi off towards the western side, with Omakan coming in very, very late down south. Tony Moada, you will see FaZe Clan all the way to the north, and then over by the east, a few stragglers or a few late arrivals from Pink Ponies and ENCE. Maybe that's the next team that kicks it off one another. You can see Vampire is, unfortunately, on enemy territories when it comes to ENCE, just on the footholds of the hill to them. And Omakan, do you play spoiler here to either Liquid or DA? Do you accidentally stumble upon them on transition? Tixu heavily damaged. Has a quick peek and does back off. Vampire does exactly the same. Does not want any of this in the vehicle. Give it up for the greater good. Job done. See you later. Bye-bye. Regroup with the roster and try and stay alive. Remember, they are a team that's down towards that latter end of the board, and playing for money is vital. Playing for your life at this stage in the game is crucial. Circle updates, and it actually hits towards those teams that we were speaking about earlier on. Liquid, Northern Lights, DA. Now it's time to central up. But what's left? What remnants of the map can you collect that no one else has taken early?
Okay, I'm looking at this one, and DA have decided to kind of congregate back together slightly, but it's going to put them in the eyesights of Omakan, and I want to look at Gemty and T-Bone if they spot this. There is, I think, a hillside there that they're currently on, so it may not be completely visible, but it'd be split off for Liquid as well. So maybe a bit of that boldness that we were discussing that could be a possibility coming into play now, coming into action. Northern Lights going to get Hacienda. They're probably quite happy with this. DA, okay, I know which compound they're at now. That makes more sense now. I see it visually. Code Marco, Smash Metralius, now joined by Merc, going to come through. Omakan will take the hillside that rolls off the back of it, so you've got to be a little careful of that one. They will have some decent vision towards this. But I'm still looking at Northern Lights because Hacienda is quite hard to keep vast control of. It's why they're not just sitting centralized. They're kind of sitting around the compound because you can get snuck up on. You can see the kind of divots and ditches and the defilades that allow kind of sneakier passage through. So I like that from them, and you've got Spyro a little bit further forward as well. Not bad. Now, we want to look at Tornado Energy as well. That's water treatment for them. They've gone for that compound, opting to be towards the north. That was where they kind of entered on the circle. They were more on the northern portion with likes of FaZe and WS and Redline. So them staying up there is not that surprising. It will garner a lot of attention, though, so they might suffer a knock, but I doubt they lose all 4.
Axie should go down. Squeaky, easy solidification on that. 3 point in the bank. Thank you very much. Hacienda, yeah, to kind of fall back to it and talk about it a little bit more. It is a good compound in the fact that there's so much ground coverage. And you have so many eyes that you can put all over the place. The fact that you can get on the roofs and just kind of wander around. It's ever so slightly elevated. So this will give Northern Lights quite a large amount of land. But as you mentioned, the defensive stance of it is very difficult. It's so big, that's why in public matches you have so many players that drop on it, because you know you're going to get action, because you can get in there, get a gun, and maybe survive for up to a minute to try and fight it through. They're also in this 2-2 split. They'll go further down towards the roadside to try and capitalize on the ground they've been given. So they are heavily split. Should a team want to push straight into Hacienda, they won't be able to fight it directly with a full force. The rest of the team will have to regroup back to them, take the battle head on, and it's a bit of a sprint to initially get there if they all just pull up. But again, by the amount of sight and the amount of land that they can see around them, there should be early warning signs of being pushed on upon. The only real question to that one is Na'Vi, but Na'Vi aren't the type of team that like to just go dive bombing it square into a compound. They're preemptive, they read the map, they're meticulous in their approaches. Ibby disconnected ever so slightly from the rest of Team Liquid is a little bit concerning, but I understand the mentality of what he's trying to achieve here by being there. He's a first point of contact for teams on transition. He can call this into the rest of Liquid and maybe get the support that he needs. If the circle comes down towards the south, then again, he could maybe just compose something for the rest of the roster and direct them to where they need to be. Circle closing in 5 seconds. And honestly, with so many players alive at this stage, this could be a fun one. I have no idea. We get the hard shift. It goes down towards the south. The question is for DA, for Liquid. Do you stand your ground and take kills on transition, or do you go deep inside the circle? Northern Lights, it's time to go.
Yeah, Ibby, get out of there. If you don't want to take on 4 players, move. And he is moving. Back on the bike, get out of there. Good choice. The Sauna boys are coming in as well. Hold on, this could be a problem. Northern Lights are about to get crashed. Batulin stills with Nuki. They cannot suffer a loss at this point, but if you're DA, if you're Liquid, you are paying attention to this. These are teams you want gone, and that's going to be Lou down and flush. No res available. Misa, Sikora, Anonymous. This was just their attempt. Oh, Batulins is gone as well. Spyro and Perfectix suddenly feeling the pressure, feeling under strain. Spyro now being chased around, but it's a ring of roses. Round we go. Perfectix's nades found Misa, and Spyro just chasing him up the stairs. He wants this. Anonymous just dodging and weaving. Nicely done, just to get out of dodge, get out of the building. And Clibs caught Anonymous, making it easier for Northern Lights. Not the target he probably would have wanted there, but he'll take the points no matter which way you want to cut it.
And that shows you how much of an angle that Liquid potentially may have into this. If they know that Northern Lights is heavily damaged, like all tanked up, there is a potential they push into this. Sakura is the last man standing here for the Sauna boys. If you get Misa up, it'll be job done. But with a nade going in, that could be devastating. Second one to follow up as well. I'm seeing burning on the floor. There is death in abundance in that shack. One more nade could be the job done. Sakura somehow stays alive, and that's because he's jumped on top of the boxes. Okay. That's good for now. Will the nade splash damage do the job? He doesn't. He still stays alive. I see 2 players from FaZe fall down simultaneously. The smokes will have to come up, and Shift W's already pressing across the road upon them.
Yeah, Shift W don't want to let this get away from them at all. They started this, and Brexico's pushing it, but he's in trouble from a further angle. He's going to be trying to deal with one more. Brexico, he's right next to him. Fuzzface is in that smoke. Peekaboo, goodbye. Fuzzface finds him so quickly. And what a horrible surprise lurking on the other side, but there's now a nade coming in a little too deep. Fuzzface gets to live to fight another day. This man went and did that dirty 1v2. He could certainly do it again, but so many eyes are on this now. Another molly comes in. It's all getting a bit treacherous now.
The nade follows up, and he's already damaged again with the smokes blooming. Sometimes
Redliner
it does
crashing
just...
the same compound. Hold on. Redline, are they moving in
so
towards
messy.
Northern Lights?
They're looking at it. They're in the field.
No,
There's no one else really for them to go.
Just off. Okay. I thought they were carrying on. Okay. Okay. A little bit of a breath. Again, I look towards the top. A lot of kills coming in, but these are more mid-table, lower-end table. WS and Pink Ponies at the very bottom right now, next to the bystanders. This could be a little bit of a pride battle and a little bit of a cash battle, potentially, but for now, Offspring does stay alive with 3 good kills. Aim might take him down. Having a little bit of a peek towards it. Now, we do have... Oh my, don't we have some fun coming in. Tornado Energy are not in the current circle that's just hit. So they're going to be forced to move, which opens up a chance for DA, Na'Vi, TSM, Northern Lights, and the Sauna Boys to maybe get a fight. If they try and swing northeast, they can't do that. It's not an option. Just straight across the road for them. This battle rages on, but I look at Tornado Energy on the chase. Seeing the lights of Northern Lights struggling, and DA and Tornado Energy next to each other, that is a tantalizing prospect.
Before we go further, we'll see some of these fights out and see how they end. We do have to talk about this, the lay of the land for this type of circle. Pink Pony's eliminated. 2 players do get the job done. TSM has turned up to red line. Oh, that's a banger of a shot. Quick lean and QBE says bye-bye. Won't be an easy finish just yet because the rest of TSM are not here. Nail up and 2 players are going to be pushing through. Clib. No flush available just yet. Instant switch to onto Mexi. They'll be able to get him back on his feet unless he crawled inside the fire. He has the capitalization here with the Northern Lights. It's time to spring into action. The flashbangs are down. 3 players on the back line. Perfectix going round the corner. Perfectix is being found though by James and Ibby. They see him simultaneously to be able to finish this last player.
They're done.
Did they just get him? They're done. Okay, 12th position for the Northern Lights. Game on for a few teams. Yes, they had a 36-point lead coming into this, but certainly a sub-10th position will not fare them any better.
Yeah, this stops that gap growing larger now. If DA or Tornado Energy push hard this game, and they're in, well, DA's in a good position to do that, we suddenly have a game on our hands, and Liquid are fighting this. They have been proactive, and I love that timing from them to move up to their compound in the right time. TSM on the other side too. I want to see how Melman and Quizzy make it across. That to me is the next big question. Fuzzface is still alive somehow. He is just, you know, the man who's too angry to die. You know what I mean? He's just chilling out by himself right now. Zocker and Kilyakai do have to come past. This is outside of the circle, keep in mind. So with that blue moving forward, it's going to get a little bit tricky at this point. But I want to see what Quizzy and Melman do. That's the big question mark to me, because they do have Alia across and Example across. They've already made it through the journey. And while everything was popping off, it's probably the right time to do it. There's the Bushwookie spotted. Nice shots from Fuzzface. This guy, he's always an impressive player to watch as an individual. And now he can play that individual game. Maybe a point grab here. Good flashes, going to move up. Try and just get him out of the blue. Say, hey, you're not denying points. Get away from it. Quick little shot. Nicely done by Fuzzface. Yeah, again, WS may kill him, but he's done well here again. Nicely done.
Couple of free points. WS are going to spring into action. That should be laying him to rest, but he's done as much as he possibly can as a solo man. WS continue onwards, but the Blues here, so they have to be quick. The ditch that Tornado Energy are actually holding is very, very fragile. It's the one where it's completely open exposed. You could go a little bit deeper, but all you have are the vehicles and the rocks to play with. The advantageous point of this, all right, never mind. You've got DA who can actually see into it, so it doesn't matter whatsoever. Provided the smokes can give him some cover, they should be able to get back on their feet. Na'Vi are directly behind them as well. I was going to say, if there was anything that was going good for this position, is that they're actually ahead of Liquid and TSM. So if they have to cross the road and try and go for this one, because you wouldn't crash DA, you wouldn't hit that building head on. It's fortified from the front. So in theory, you try and go around it if you are Team Liquid or TSM.
My God.
Or the circle just decides to go to the north anyway and potentially keep them all in.
All right, so now Liquid need to find a way through. They've got TSM in front of them, and even TSM don't have... If that nade landed, my God. So they could shuffle up a bit, sure. James is not loving this. James is really not loving this. Tornado Energy are in. Oh, there's Offspring. Big shots. Very long angles in this. Now you can see the rest of Liquid kind of adjusting, looking around. Mexi's like, hey, calm down, mate. Get off our teammate. No. And Offspring, I don't think's noted where Mexi was. He's got a good idea now as he sees the vehicle popping off, but he wants the points. Wants to mean prizes, and Mexi and Ibby make the move. They're going to head off right now, looking where they go. Ents and Omakun. I'm surprised Arustamar found that. No kills yet for DA. The thing with being in a compound like this, it's hard to convert, but Miraku's already done it. That's Metralius now. Not flushed, but soon to be. There it is, down, dead, gone. They needed a big game here, DA. That has to be, you know, like the 10-point kill game plus the first place position. Same for TE. If they want a good scenario out of this, has to be a big result. Cannot be a quiet win. We hold them to very high standards now. With the bike pulling up, they know someone's here. Offstring now going to be on red alert.
See if this nade goes through, but we mentioned about DA holding front and really not allowing people to cross the road, Lauren. I think they got tunnel visioned on Liquid driving away. Mert and Smash diverted their attention, and TSM just decided to strike. They lose a player while doing so. Okay, now they've been able to kind of focus fire back towards it. Squeaky trying to look for the final player from WS, not realizing he's downwind of it all. Has to be careful as he just kind of shows himself over this hill. He will be very much open to all the bullets from down low and the SLRs that will be in abundance. X being one of them, seeing this at first glance. But yeah, that's the bigger story. DA have held a really good position, but they've not managed to bag any kills yet. And by losing someone earlier on, by being so tunnel visioned into Liquid driving by to pick up the frag, they've unfortunately traded off and lost somebody without any kind of answer back. Offstring goes down. Besto finds Quizzy. This position is just all kinds of bad. Na'Vi have made note of it for quite some time. They held the compound behind this. And all of a sudden, the bombardment of the grenades will open up. There's nowhere really for Na'Vi to go, especially with ETG on their right-hand side. Senyu going down makes it all that much more difficult. Put the smokes up, deny the vision for TE, and maybe just hit them with everything you've got. This will be the last stands for Na'Vi, so you've got to try and make it count.
Tab and Besto, the two to do it. They're a little bit maybe preoccupied by Omicron and ETG, which I don't blame them. Omicron is masses of high ground, and ETG have a lot of space between them and the circle. So Na'Vi are a little bit, you know, puzzled by this, and it's Tornado Energy fair to be given a second to consider. Now, Mexi's on the move, going to try and join up with Ibby. Nice play towards the circle. Again, there's 1 point between DA and Tornado Energy. Neither have been able to kind of breach that just yet, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 172, 171. And that, I think Martin said it was 10k difference. And to see someone like Tornado Energy without a kill yet, quite surprising. Normally able to convert a good couple of frags here and there. And these shots from Vazku, beautiful. This is not close range, and there's one of the players for Na'Vi going down. Melman's been lost, and again, no kills coming in for Tornado Energy or DA. Struggling. So in this moment, you have the opportunity to get a game up on Northern Lights, essentially. They have gone down without being able to convert too many kills. 3 points, right? That's it, really. So then you look, okay, well, we've got a game to jump up. Maybe if we have a really good game, 10 kills, first place, you know, a good 20-point game or so, sick. Exactly what's required. It's not happening. They are fumbling their one chance of doing this. TSM now moving across, get themselves into the fight. Where do they go? Right? It's Tornado Energy. They're going to hear these shots. Are they trying to ignore this? That is bold. ETG dying in the fields, but to neither of the teams that are desperate for the points. This is madness going on, Rich.
Everyone's playing edge and they're scared to go center, and honestly, I don't blame them. With Tornado Energy dying as they, or at least one of their players dying as they arrive there, they know that someone's position has definitely been noted in the form of Ibby. Alia will continue onwards, and maybe if you can just get to the foothold there. Mexi cycles towards the lethal utility. One grenade could solidify it and maybe just alleviate some pressure from Ibby. Utility committed on this side as well. TSM went a little bit earlier, but the fire, the flames, it's all down. It's all deadly. Ira's burning as well. 1-2, thank you. Miraku by the smidging of his life. The bike just goes, it just goes flying through the air.
One kill.
But finally, now we'll actually see DA starting to come alive. They're using the position that they have into TSM.
Mert's pushing.
If they turn and face this, they're behind them. That's Mert and Marco. If they get Miracle, they then fall onto Tornado Energy.
Here we go.
This is the time to do it. They need these points. They need them now. This is when you strike.
Okay, they could directly deny this because I think Tornado Energy are about to jump. If they push just a touch further, they might jump DA, but actually Code Marco and Mert, looks like they're peeling away from this. Maybe too much attention from Omicron. They don't like it. They don't want any of that. Yeah, back into the smokes they go. So Tornado Energy they got a couple of kills from this. They took down some of TSM. They've taken down some members of other teams, but Ents also got dealt with by DA. Now, Melman's turned attention, but how much is he paying to this one? I'm sure Omokun are pumping out damage, but to be able to flush these kills, very tricky. It's just kind of the double-edged sword and Smash with a great shot towards Page. Beautiful heady coming out with that SKS, just bounding bullets towards him. And the circle's not bad for DA. It's not great, but it's good for the likes of Liquid, for example. They're happy with this. Very centralized. Tornado Energy on the move already. Melman going to make his way further forward slightly. Example trailing behind.
I kind of feel sorry for Omicron because the ground that they had, you do have that advantageous high ground coming out of the backside of it, and they've just not been allowed to do anything.
Yeah.
Anything at all. All it's done is kept ends back and put them in the predicament, what you've just seen in the replay. Allowed DA just to open up with the SKS, and it's bye-bye 1-2, thank you. Ibby, smidgen of life. Instantly denied by Jempty. All it comes down. T-Bone, time to step up. Mex is there. He does still have some utility. Easy run over, thank you very much. Crushes him. Mexi sees all this go. Oh, he run his teammate over. Is it time to go? Yes, it absolutely is. Molly over, then follow up with a grenade.
Mexi!
This could be super nasty.
It's got him. Fire.
It's got him.
Oh, this is terrible. Oh my god, this is absolutely atrocious. Melman's gone down now as well. What is going on? This is a clown fiesta. Mert's turned up. He's got Melman down. That's a point in their pocket. A direct deny against the team opposing them. Mexi's still alive, and Omicron. I can't believe they made such a mess of that.
Big error. Big, big error. But huge just spring ball coming out of Mexi. Responds instantly. Flashbang completely white. That thing's going to hit him for 6. Tixu comes in, puts him out of his misery. Vascu at least. The two of them back on the feet. Now they can look onwards of TE. And for DA, while they've not had as many kills as what we were kind of hoping, only 4 so far, they at least have the hard cover. And they have more bodies in play than any other team. If they work together, they can win this, and that's the 10.
Okay. But Example's still alive, and he's still a problem. You can see that Example is playing for no one's attention. He wants to stay as quiet as possible, play late as he can. Now, this will force DA to leave the area they've been utilizing, and it's quite flat as an area to leave. Smash uses the vehicle to get up, for example. It's a bit too treacherous to run. There's a little bit of, area to play with. You can see the backside of this little mound is where they might try and play off. Tixu could be a downfall to that. And it looks like Smash is very aware that someone could be over there. Jempty's still very cognizant of potential players down in this sort of ditch. Perfect. And right to be using the molly. Example's in a bit of trouble here now. He's going to try and get the stim off, the heal off, and deal with his HP dwindling. Another molly now coming in. He's surely dead in the water here. Nowhere to back away to. And yes, confirmed. Tornado Energy unable to convert more, but they do jump. As it stands, DA getting themselves that little additional. We'll put them in second. But we'll see what DA are able to garner from this. 4 kills. Now a couple more. 5. Back on towards this. Now if they close out with a win and plus 2 kills, the gap gets smaller, and Northern Lights may have to be a bit cautious as to how do they approach Erangel. But it has been a problem for DA. Their spot was already taken. But let's look at what we have. Omicron pretty little, I'd say, frustrated. Excellent positioning. Good conversion rate. 9 kills. Very respectable. But they could have done so much with that. I'm sure their damage is off the charts here. Now, Mert and Smash trying to utilize the rest of this hillside. They have less to play with than Omicron for now. And I want to see what they do. Oh, Code Marco, careful now. Headshot comes in, instantly put it back. And you can see Omicron, they are zeroed in just right.
And it's kind of scary. Like, if there's 2 players that I wouldn't want to be going up against an Omicron, it's Jempty and Vascu. Vascu is a marksman in his own right. The things that man can do with a bolt action is disgusting. With a ground like this, alright, it's a mini, it's not a bolty, but still, he can land those shots. And Jempty is just a god in his own right. It's like any given time of the week, he can just step up, challenge people 1 versus 1, and he just becomes a beast in his own individuality. Vasco's still holding. This might give Jempty the option to approach and go further forward. Again, with the position that they have, the might ever so slight elevation. The cover's there, though. It's allowed 1 player to get to the hillside. I do like that a lot, to be able to just put down suppressive fire and get Mert much deeper into the circle. Now, it all comes down to Omicron to make the first mistake. They're the ones that have to make the move, unless that molly somehow lands by the feet of Mert. Cooks him alive. It's actually just on the left-hand side.
Oh, okay. Jempty now. Gonna see Code What? He just turned that shot. Jempty had the first shots, and Code Marco just backhanded it. Mert now pushing up. These boys want it, and they've got it. Here we go. Game back on. They have just proven